This world is extremely difficult upon the children of light. Everything about this world is built to oppress us and make us miserable as possible. And the whole world has been upholding it and contributing to it. Most people hate the truth. And the reason why they hate the truth is because it's contrary to that which they want to do. That just is what it is. People want to eat what they assume to be meat. They will find a way to be able to eat what they consider to be meat, regardless of the suffering of the being that brutally lost their life in order to be the food of non-compassionate people. They're not compassionate. They're not loving. They're not merciful. They're not empathetic because they do not care whatsoever of the suffering of the being. They don't care about the pain. They don't care about the misery. They don't care about the agony. They don't care about the fear, the trauma, none of the torture. They don't care about any of that the animals are experiencing in order to be people's food. So when they come face to face with the eternal truth that we were never given animals to eat as a food source, that this never came from the true and living God who created them alive, they feel some type of way. It causes them to rise up in anger and attack the speaker of this eternal truth. Those who want to believe that we all come from Africa, including my own people, they get angry when we bring evidence. We bring them face to face with evidence that we were already here in these lands during colonization, and that every single thing we were taught in history, in the compulsory schools, in the educational institutions, is a falsified history. They get angry. They project their false reality. This is because it's contrary to the truth that they want to believe. The truth that they've accepted as a core belief system. But it's not the truth. Is a great deception. The same thing as eating animals' flesh, dead bodies, claiming that we must eat red meat in order to get iron. Excuse me, there's plenty of things that grow from the earth that provides the iron that we need. No need for eating rotting corpses of dead animals that were once alive and suffered in misery. There's of compassion for that being that feels the same exact pain that we feel. See? And because I'm a speaker of this eternal truth, I don't got no friends. People ostracize me. I'm left alone in great misery. So even today, when I was getting prepared to get on here to do this work by way of the Spirit, I'm like, Father, I know you call me to do this. And I'm going to keep it real, because in my mind I'm like, what the heck I'm not gaining anything from this. Not spirit, not physically. I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm just continuously suffering in the physical. I know that eventually I will gain the spiritual reward. Yes, that's coming. The spiritual reward will also be physical. Okay? I've already received the spiritual reward of clarity and understanding. Alright? I have the Holy Spirit. I have the Spirit of truth. I have the reproof that I've received. Okay? Therefore, I have the validation. Alright? I have the confirmations. I have many receipts to prove that which I've been given to speak. So I don't need the validation of mortal men. All of these things I've been given by way of the Spirit. And I am to continuously stand upon it, while I continuously give you this living word by the way of the Spirit. But I was anguished, and still anguished in spirit, because of the fact that I've been going for so long without any kind of love being shown unto me, any kind of mercy, kindness, empathy, compassion. Like, it's all being withheld from me. But yet I'm spending all my time, energy, and effort flowing by way of the Spirit in order to help all of you. And it's like, none of these people, Father, have seen about your servant. None of these people care that I'm long suffering. None of them care that I'm in misery physically. And it came to me that I'm actually sowing real love by being here, even when I'm physically miserable. I'm sowing real compassion, because despite my circumstances, I'm still here, freely giving the spiritual clarity and understanding, helping people make a logical determination for themselves. I'm demonstrating and sowing real kindness, mercy, empathy. I'm being very generous with my time, energy, and effort to flow by way of the Spirit, giving you all of these pearls of wisdom that's much greater value because it's eternal. So, as he was talking to me, he was like, you are giving them what they need for eternal salvation. Yet they are refusing to give to you temporary relief from that which is being required of you by the wicked. See? refusing to give me any physical substance for my physical mortal body. In order to have these substances, the physical substance for my physical mortal body, the wicked is charging money. But money is temporary. It's not eternal. Those who are requiring this money is here temporarily, not eternally. So during this temporary time frame, though all of you don't have to suffer in misery because you got your money and you're comfortable with all of your materialistic things, a comfortable bed, comfortable furniture, all of these things, okay? I sleep on a broke down ass bed. And it's on my channel. I spoke about it several times. My bed is not comfortable in the least bit. I have no comfortability in my physical mortal life. I am continuously suffering. My chair is not that comfortable. My computer chair. Alright? And my bed is hella uncomfortable. That's the only furniture that I have, other than the dining room kitchen table and some basic kitchen chairs. That's it. I don't have a sofa. I don't have a love seat. I don't have any freaking furniture. All right. I don't live a comfortable physical life. I live in misery. But yet I have been endowed with all of this spiritual wealth that I am continuously, freely sowing and giving while enduring great periods of long suffering, the hateful hearts of the very people that I'm here to help obtain eternal happiness, eternal salvation, to be the portion of eternal benevolence. See, that's eternal. But you want to be temporarily selfish. Love making me suffer because I refuse to root hog or die poor. But see, I'm not a hog. I'm a child of the true and living God. And I'm here to serve you, his oracles, by the way of the Spirit. Alright? Now this is going to be from the Coptic Gospel of Thomas. Okay? Now, as I always state, eat the good fruit and spit out the seeds. Okay? His disciples said to him, 24 prophets spoke in Israel, and they all spoke about thee. He said to them, you have dismissed the living one who is before you, and you have spoken about the dead. Okay? So focused on the superficial, alright, while you ignore the real. Okay? You ignore the real deal and you hold to that which is superficial. Okay? You hold to that which is not eternal. Alright? You hold to that which is temporary. And you're rejecting what's eternal and what's really real. Okay? His disciples said to him, is circumcision profitable or not? He said to them, if it were profitable, their father would beget them circumcised from their mother. So you see, The circumcision of the penis was a tradition of mortal men that never came from eternal benevolence. The circumcision was always dealing with the heart condition and the mentality. All right, several times you can hear him say, "Circumcise thy ears," okay? Circumcise thy eyes, all right? Circumcise your heart, all right? Circumcise your mentality. Okay? Incline your ear unto the eternal truth. Okay? But they took it as a carnal circumcision to where they began cutting the foreskin of their penis. Alright? But the true circumcision in spirit has become profitable in every way. Circumcising your heart condition, lining it up with eternal benevolence, circumcising your mentality, inclining your ear to the good fruits of the Spirit. Real divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity if you're not married, and marrying for the correct purposes, not for the lust of the flesh and or any kind of superficial reason. Jesus said, "Blessed for yours is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the poor." Okay? Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor." So clearly, I'm blessed. I'm living in utter poverty. And I have not received any compassion from most of humanity. The few that have helped me are not wealthy. But he said, "Blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven." Why is the wisdom of the poor man despised? Is it because we speak that eternal living word by the way of the Spirit, and it pierces, discerning the intentions of the heart condition and the mentality? Jesus said, "Whoever does not." Now, you see how this is written. This is not, we not to hate our fathers, all right, our earthly fathers or our earthly mothers, brothers or sisters, or anything like that. We're not to hate anyone, for he that the first law is to love the Most High with our whole heart, mind, and soul. And then the second greatest commandment is to love one another as thyself. That law never changed. Okay, so this is not meaning actually hate your father. No. What this is meaning is not to allow the ways of your father to turn your heart condition and or your mentality away from the eternal truth. All right? So it doesn't mean that we hate our relatives. I don't hate my dad. I don't hate my mom. I don't hate my brother. I don't hate my family. I don't hate anybody. However, I am not going to allow their hatred of me and their ostracizing of me, their ignoring of me. I'm not gonna allow any of that to stop me from being obedient to eternal benevolence. Okay? That's what this means. We are not to hate anyone. All right? And I'm going to flow by way of the Spirit here right quick. Because I got another scripture I want to tie this to. All right. Despised. Give me a second, people. Okay, I think this might be it. Yes. Alright. This is gonna be from the Old Testament pseudepigrapha. Alright, they say pseudo because they don't want to believe in it. They want to call it false. Alright. But clearly it ties in with my life, okay? Joseph and Aseneth, okay? Aseneth. Let's see. With whom shall I take refuge, or what shall I speak? All right. It's like that scripture that is in Jeremiah. To whom shall I speak and give warning? Warning. Right. 1 second, people. I'm gonna have to rename this. To whom shall I speak and give warning? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised. Let me just look it up here. Jeremiah 6:10. I think I found it. The one I was looking for. Yeah. Alright, that's what I was looking for. Alright? So people get mad at you for speaking the eternal truth. Alright? So this is what Aseneth is saying. All right, people get mad. Her whole family turned against her because of the truth. Okay, to whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised. There's that word again, uncircumcised. Your ear is uncircumcised. Okay, it's like you get a brick wall, all right, a concrete slab, like blocking your ears from hearing the truth by way of the Spirit. All right. So behold, your ears are uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the true and living God is unto them a reproach. A reproach means like hatred, like you despise it. All right. Disapproval, disappointment.
Reproach.
Reproach, like rebuke. All right, I'm here to give the rebuke. I'm here to reprove. Okay, and this seems like scolding. This seems like chiding. This seems like reprimanding. All right, admonishing and all of this. All right, censoring falsehoods, rebuking falsehoods, rebuking lies. Okay, that's what I'm here to do. But because most people is comfortable and complacent in the freaking lie, in the deception, they express disapproval and or disappointment. And they feel like they have the right to rebuke me. They feel like they have the right to reprove me, scold me, chide me, reprimand me, chastise me, okay, berate me, all right? Tell me to pull myself up by my bootstraps and earn money for a living. Be a responsible adult. But you don't realize you are upholding a satanic ass system. And you are ignoring the suffering of the indigenous people of these lands. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. They think they have the right to criticize me. They trying to find fault with me. They want to censor me. this. They don't praise me. They don't commend me. But they commend and praise one another in how they diminish me. How they all withhold from me, causing my long suffering. So yeah, the word of the Most High is unto most people a reproach. That's why you hate me. Because you have no delight in the truth by way of the Spirit. You have no delight in divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity. You have no delight in these things. Your delight is in the freaking traditions of mortal men. Your delight is in the pleasures of your carnal flesh. Your delight is in the pleasures of this world. So we're like, whom shall I take refuge? Or what shall I speak? These people hate your word, Father. They don't want your word. Look how your servant is being treated. I, the virgin, and an orphan, and desolate, and abandoned, and hated. All people have come to hate me. And on top of those, my father and my mother, because I too have come to hate their gods. I hate your false gods. Okay? I hate people, but I hate the false god of money. Yes, I do. I hate this established economic system, this abominable economic system that's been established by force with much bloodshed upon my ancestral land. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I hate the god of money. And I have destroyed them. I am destroying them. I'm destroying your false god of money. I'm destroying the perception that is a righteous thing to earn money for a living. No, sir, no, ma'am. Ain't nothing righteous about that in the least bit. That's complacency with the worst of the heathen. Selfish ambition, so that you can sustain your flesh upon the earth, at the beckon, at the behest of the heathen who stole these lands from the indigenous people and are forcing the indigenous people to pay them continuously. Okay? So I'm destroying this system, all right, just by speaking the living word by way of the Spirit, all right, and living it, okay, and cause them to be trampled underfoot by men, okay? See, yes, this system is gonna be destroyed, all right? Right now, his people are being trampled underfoot by men. But while I'm being trampled, I'm fighting like hell with this sword of the Spirit, slaying many demons. I don't care how you people literally ignore my channel. You want to act like I ain't out here doing this work. Literally blinding yourself to the truth by the way of the Spirit. My videos get like 6 views, 7 views. You deliberately not tune in to this truth because you don't want to be convicted within your conscience. Because I'm speaking your conscience. That's the living word by way of the Spirit. And therefore my father and my mother and my whole family have come to hate me and said, Asenath is not our daughter because she has destroyed our gods. See, this is why my family don't want me around. Because when I speak by way of the Spirit, and it destroys their false ass reality. It brings their gods, everything that they idolize, it literally destroys it. And they don't like it because they love those things which they hold and adore and esteem. Okay? They love their money. They love their materialistic things. They love their comforts. They love going out to eat in restaurants. They love enjoying themselves. That's the pride of life. And the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. That's being a lover of this world. Well, don't the scriptures say, be not a lover of this world? Don't the scriptures say they that love the world, the love of the Father is not in them? Hello? And all people hate me because I too have come to hate every idol, every falsehood, every deception that mortal men are holding on to. Okay? I don't hate anybody, but I hate the evil spirits that's controlling most people, causing you to be shut up in your bowels of compassion, causing you to refuse to show love unto me, causing you to refuse to be compassionate with me, causing you to refuse mercy from me. And now, in this humiliation of mine, and see, all who ask for my hand in marriage is like conforming to their mentality, conforming, okay, joining with them, okay. This marriage here is like joining with the system, all right. Conform to us, or else we will continue to hate on you, okay. You are nothing to us unless you are like us. Okay? Becoming one with the world. Okay? No, sir, no, ma'am. I will choose to stay in opposition to the ways of this world. Okay? And now, in this humiliation of mine, all have come to hate me. Yes, humiliation. Because my business is out there. All right? My life is out there. I have no money. I have no physical might in my hands. I'm 3 months behind on paying the rent. Tiggy did not have wet food last Saturday. Okay? Today is Thursday. So Saturday's coming up again and he don't have no wet food. All right? He didn't have treats. I didn't have treats to give him yesterday. Okay? On Wednesday. I have no money. I don't even have enough for a bus ticket. It costs $2 for a bus fare. I don't have any money. And no one has been showing any kind of mercy unto me. So that I'm experiencing the humiliation of being deprived of love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity from any of the people who I am here freely giving this spiritual clarity and understanding. Because all of these people have come to hate me and gloat over this affliction of mine. All standing around watching my misery, my suffering. don't care to help relieve any of it. Oh no, refusing to go in their huge bank accounts, their hundreds of thousands of dollars, to help relieve my suffering. Instead, they gloat and laugh amongst one another. And the Lord, the God of the powerful Joseph, okay, because Asenath was a Gentile, okay, you need to understand that. Asenath was a Gentile, Joseph is an Israelite, okay, and so she knew that the Lord, our God, of eternal benevolence, the ever presence of benevolence, is our God, okay, which empowers us, all right. The Most High despises all evil spirits, okay, that are controlling those who worship idols, okay. The true and living God does not hate his spirit children, okay. No, but hates the fact that his spirit children is allowing evil spirits to corrupt their heart condition, okay, and their mentality, causing them to seal themselves away from him. Like, that is not him that's hating, okay. It's the people who are deceived by the evil spirits that hate, okay. Like, I don't hate my family, they hate me. I have not ostracized myself away from my family. They have ostracized me. They have made it abundantly crystal clear that they do not want me around. And this is exactly what people do to the ever presence of benevolence. So the presence of benevolence is not going to impose its way upon anyone. Not gonna force you to love. You can't be forced to participate in divine love. There's no way to force anyone to participate in divine love. There's no way to force anyone to participate in compassion. There's no way to force anyone to participate in real mercy, kindness, generosity, empathy. You can't force these things. These things are freely chosen by those who love eternal benevolence. Okay? And all those who despise eternal benevolence are the ones that hate on his servants. Okay? The true and living God is not jealous. But these evil spirits and these malevolent gods are jealous of eternal benevolence. And those who are controlled by these malevolent forces are jealous of the true servants of eternal benevolence. We are not jealous of you. Why would we need to be jealous of you? You are in ignorance. That's nothing to be jealous about. No, we pity you. Therefore, it causes me to have compassion. I pity you. I am not jealous of you. I am not envious of your money. If I was, and I'd be doing what it takes in order to get that money. And that's not what I'm doing. Spiritual wealth is eternal. Your wealth is fool's gold. It's temporary. So there ain't nothing to be envious of. There ain't nothing to be jealous of. The true and living God is not terrible, but the malevolent forces are. And they have no love. They have no compassion. They have no kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity. Only the generosity in order to entice you. Okay? But once you are enticed and you're in their clutches, you're in their grip, and eternal benevolence ain't gonna deliver you, that generosity goes away. And it's slowly slipping away. As you can see, it's costing a hell of a lot in order to live upon the earth these days. That means Satan is forsaking you. The adversary is forsaking you. It ain't that easy any longer to just work a full time job and be able to sustain your life for the average working person. No, it's getting much tougher on you. And you need to understand this because greed is insatiable. And those who set up this economic system can never be satisfied. Okay? And also is judgment upon you for what you've been complacent with happening to the indigenous people of all the lands that's been colonized. Okay? You didn't care that we were being oppressed by the system, but now you are starting to be oppressed by the system. All right? Therefore he has come. Wait a minute. He don't hate us. Okay? No, he the true and living God does not hate us, but does hate that we his little ones were deceived, okay, by the evil malevolent spirits, okay, and the malevolent forces, the fallen angels, okay. When we were dead asleep, all right, spending our time, energy, and effort earning the image of the beast, which is money. It's not that the true and living God hated us, but um was long suffering the fact that we were in ignorance. All right? But I never hated my God. I never hated the true and living God. And money was never my God. All right? That was imposed upon me. Money was never my God. Okay, though I did spend my time, energy, and effort earning it, it was merely because I was strong armed into it by my family, and I did not have the spiritual clarity and or understanding. I was berated into it and all of these things. Okay, gaslighted, manipulated, all of these things. Okay, hated and scorned. All right, all of this forcing me into it. All right, and even when I did it, I was still being scorned that I was not doing it enough, that my ambition to obtain this money was not great enough. Okay, and so all of this oppression caused me to seek harder for clarity and understanding. I wanted answers on why this was being required of me. Okay? Now that's not the heart condition and or the mentality of majority of humanity. Majority of humanity do not care why it's being required. They simply conform to it. Okay? And they do it without question. All right? And then these same people want to assume that everybody has the same type of heart condition and mentality as them. And that's where they're sadly mistaken. Okay? So, no, the true and living God had a purpose for me. I had to do it for a period of time so that I could experience what it was like, okay? And talk about it. I had to experience the turmoil in my spirit so that I could talk about it, all right? Um, I never blessed money, okay? But another thing was that he was long suffering my ignorance of being taught that it was okay to eat dead bodies and call it meat, okay? Thinking that I would be a carnivore for the rest of my life, okay? So I was eating from the sacrifice of brutality to the god of money, okay? And this I did in ignorance. All right. So when I came into the knowledge that I was in transgression of blood guilt, you know, I humbled myself and I repented of that transgression. I did not fight against it like a lot of my brethren. Alright, a lot of my brethren are making hell of excuses on why they can't turn away from blood guilt and refuse to see that this is the exact reason why we went into this final captivity. Right? Saying that, they don't perceive the scriptures the same way. It don't matter your perception. I speak by way of the Spirit. I'm speaking the eternal truth to you. The eternal truth is thou shalt not kill. Okay? And it doesn't matter that you want to come up with all of these different classifications of kill. Well, if you killed an animal for food, that's not technically killing. That's something that we have to do in order to eat. It doesn't matter how you want to rationalize it. Okay, you spilt blood. He didn't told you don't spill blood in the land. Okay, in order for you to eat animals, which you want to falsely call meat, you have to spill their blood. All right, so you can't get you can't get past that, okay? No matter how they try, they're just completely blatantly choosing to disobey the eternal law of divine love. They are simply choosing to ignore having compassion and kindness and mercy and empathy for the animals. They are choosing the lust of their flesh. They are choosing the lust of their belly. Therefore, their belly is their God. Their belly is their idol. They care more about the lust of their flesh than they do about the eternal law of love. And it is as simple as that. Okay? I love my brethren. I don't say these things in order to hurt them. But this causes me to have a heavy heart. Okay? This is what makes this become like a burden. Okay? Because people are not receiving it. And they keep rejecting it. And rejecting me. And while they're rejecting me, they're neglecting me on top of it. Alright? So, anyway, I just wanted to connect that with this, okay? So it says whoever does not hate the false way of his father or his mother will not be able to be a disciple to me. And whoever does not hate the ways, the wicked ways of his brethren and his sisters, and does not take up his cross, okay, I'm taking up my cross of poverty, okay? I was not born with money, okay? Therefore, I'm taking up my cross of poverty. I'm being forced to live in poverty by the wicked because I refuse to pine after their God in order to satisfy my flesh in this mortality. Okay, so that's taking up my cross in his way. All right? If I did not do this, all right, then I would not be worthy of him. So you see, all of you who are not taking up your cross, but instead you have conformed to the ways of this world, Okay? And because you are conformed to the ways of this world, the truth by way of the Spirit has become a reproach unto you. Okay? Therefore, you begin to hate and scorn and ridicule and berate and ostracize, diminish, and all these things you do unto the faithful servants of the Spirit of truth and the ever presence of benevolence. All right? Because you are not taking up your cross. You're not crucifying your flesh. You're not suffering in the flesh. Okay? You are joined with the system. Therefore, you are choosing to go the system way, not his way. Therefore, you are not worthy of him. Yet you got his name all up in your mouth. You keep confessing him, but he telling you that you are not of him. You're not worthy of him. Okay? Because you're following the ways of the world. Okay? Jesus said, whoever has known the world has found a corpse. Okay? The wisdom of this world is foolishness with a true and living God. Okay? And whoever has found a corpse of him, the world, is not worthy. So that's all of you that are earning money for a living, holding on to that mentality that you're being a responsible adult. Okay? And you refuse to show compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, love, generosity, any of these righteous fruits of the Spirit to those of us who are not doing what you're doing. But we're being obedient. Okay, you are not going to be counted worthy. Therefore, you are not going to be protected via eternal benevolence. He is not going to deliver you. Okay? Jesus said the kingdom of the Father is like a man who had good seed. Okay? You must, okay, a tree is known by its fruit. All right? And the fruit that is grown on the tree is known by the seed. Okay? So when you're sowing seeds of selfishness, greed, hatred, bitterness, jealousy, envy, despitefulness, malice, all of these things, what makes you think that you are a tree of righteousness? No, sir, no, ma'am. You are a tree of utter wickedness. Okay? All of your fruit that's on your tree is malevolent, bitter, rotten fruit. It ain't the sweet fruit of the Spirit of real divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity. See, I am a righteous tree because my fruit is the sweet righteous fruits in which I operate in. These are my actions. I don't transgress benevolence. I don't operate in any of the rotten fruits of malevolence. So I have not planted any of them rotten seeds. I am a righteous tree. Okay? The enemy came by night and sowed a weed among the good seed. Now see, the good seed was the earth. Okay? The earth was the good seed. Okay? And then our spirits that were sent to the earth. Also, good seed. However, and also the chosen bloodline of Shem, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, was initially good seed. Okay, but all of these things ended up being corrupted by the adversary. Okay? And it's only those who are able to hear the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit receive the reproof, all right? Applying it to their life and living it, making the conscious determination to obey eternal benevolence and turn away from malevolence, only they will begin to overturn the corrupted seed. All right, making it good. All right? Now, we are to walk in the spirit. Let me see my time here. All right, I'm at 55 minutes. Give me just a second, people. Let me go relieve my bladder. And then we're going to get into this walking in the spirit because that's what we're supposed to do. It ain't about pleasing our carnal flesh. I don't know what makes you people think that it's righteous to live for pleasing your carnal flesh. Okay? Like, bro, that's the tares that's been sown among the good wheat. Ugh. All right, I'll be right back. Hi, Tikey. All right, I'm back, people. Thank you very much for your patience. Oh, goodness. Mm, 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 mm. All right. So, this is just some scriptures relating to walking in the Spirit, okay, from the King James Version Bible, all right? This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh, okay? You must begin to have this spiritual clarity and understanding to know that it's not all about your carnal flesh, okay? Because you are ignoring what's needed for eternal salvation, okay? For you were sometimes darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. Okay? Now, this was me. I used to be in darkness, all right, but now I am in the light. And therefore, I walk as children of light. Okay? I don't walk as the ways of this world. Okay? I don't participate in the ways of this world. I am set apart as a child of light. Okay? The fact that people want to try to tear me away from this and force me to live in my carnal flesh, fulfilling the lust of my flesh, okay, earning money for a living, that's what that will get me, okay? So, but I'm walking as the children of light, all right? Because I'm no longer in darkness, okay? This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Is there again? All right. 1 John 2:6. He that says he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk. All right. So if you say that you abide in the true and living God, you say that you love the promised anointed one, the Messiah, all right, whatever you want to call him, all right, if you say that you are abiding in him, then you are to be walking as he walked, okay? He said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow. All right. People always want to jump to saying that, well, the Messiah was a carpenter. Well, yes he was in the early stages of his life before he started his spiritual ministry. Okay? But once he started his spiritual ministry, he was no longer a carpenter. All right. And the same for all of his disciples. His disciples used to be fishers. All right. They were fishermen. All right. I forget which ones that was. All right. Was it Peter? I forget which ones were the fishermen. But he told them, hey, cast away your nets and I'll make you fishers of men. Okay. They left off the carnal job, they left off the carnal employment, and they took on the spiritual job. They took on the spiritual employment. Okay? And the spiritual employment is not for the reward of money. Okay? We're not doing it for the reward of money. I'm not doing this for the reward of money. Okay, I'm doing this for the fulfillment of my spiritual mission. Okay, I'm doing this to fulfill my soul's mission upon the earth, that which has been inscribed upon my spirit. Okay, that's the reason that I'm doing this, not for the reward of money. So, all you people who are withholding that which is being required of me, which is money, because you think that I'm doing this for the reward of money, you are in ignorance. Because I'm not doing this for the reward of money. Okay? I'm doing this in order to help you because that's my assigned spiritual mission. All right? You need the spiritual clarity and understanding to the reality that we have been made to live in. Whether you think so or not. Okay? Whether you accept it or not. Okay? Because this spiritual wealth is not forced upon you. Okay, it's freely given. but it's not forced. Okay? You get to make the choice of your own free agency. You have freedom of choice given to you by eternal benevolence to reject this truth or accept it. Okay? And your rejection of it, that's a choice. All right? With that choice, eternal benevolence is not your choice. Okay? So you can keep saying all the hell you want that you love God, you love Yahushua, you love Mozart, or whatever the hell you want to call the promised anointed one, whatever the hell you want to call the infinite source of all things good, okay? The one that you call upon when you get in trouble, okay? The infinite source that you know is merciful, the infinite source that you know is loving. You can claim that you serve that source all the hell you want, but when you refuse to be obedient, when you refuse to operate in those attributes, when you refuse to have those qualities within your heart condition and your mentality, that is not your God. Okay? You do not love the promised anointed one. You are not his sheep. Okay? Because he said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. But you are not following him. You are following the ways of the world. Okay? So I don't care what the hell you want to believe. Believe what you want. It ain't gonna stop you from reaping what you have been sowing. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. The eternal law of divine love and all things good. I don't follow anything contrary to that. I don't follow anything that's contrary to benevolence. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's being born again. That's letting go the wisdom of this world so you can relearn via the spirit of truth. That's getting a new wine skin so that you can receive the new wine. That you may be able to prove, not believe, but prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the true and living God. There is a way to prove what his perfect will is, because he done already showed us. He done already showed us what his perfect will is. I done showed thee, oh man, oh mortal. Let me just look it up here. Micah 6:8. The case against Israel, okay? See, my brethren is in ignorance. They refuse to own up to the initial transgression, which was the bloodshed and mistreatment of the Father's innocent creation, all right? That felt the same pain that we feel, okay? The case against Israel. Would the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams? With 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I present my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has shown you, oh man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to act justly. Is it just to go grab an innocent lamb and just slit its throat, spilling its blood upon the earth? Is that just? Is that loving mercy? Is that walking humbly with the true and living God that said, "Thou shalt not kill"? Is that walking humbly with the true and living God that told us what our diet was in the beginning? Is that walking humbly with our God that told us to love one another as thyself? The animals were given into our hands, not to brutalize them, torture, murder, and eat their dead bodies, but to take care of them, to love them, to show compassion unto them, not be brute beast, killing them. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You do all of these man-made mortal traditions of men, but you have disregarded the weightier matters of the heart. You're throwing out the eternal law. You're throwing out justice for all humanity and all creation. You're throwing out mercy. You're throwing out faithfulness. You're throwing out obedience to the true and living God, to the eternal law of divine love. You keep deflecting away from that. You should practice the latter without neglecting the former. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Okay? Justice for the animals that have been going through a freaking animal holocaust. All for you to keep eating their dead bodies. Correct the oppressor. Quit trying to reprove me. You can't reprove me because you have yet to receive the reproof via the Spirit of truth. Therefore, you don't have the Spirit of truth in order to correct me and or reprove me. You are following the wisdom of this world. And you refuse to correct the oppressor, but you are finding fault and a problem with me, who is being instructed via eternal benevolence to help you people. Defend the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. For I desire mercy, not sacrifice, to have the knowledge of the true and living God. Be aware of the ever presence of benevolence. Never transgress the beneficence of benevolence. What kind of pleasure is the true and living God getting out of you torturing his innocent animals? You think it's pleasurable to the true and living God to hear their cries? Wow, that is a really hardened heart, people. That's an extremely hardened heart. And that's sad. That is very sad that you seriously are psyching yourself out to believe that the true and living God who created these creatures out of loving kindness gets pleasure out of hearing their screams. This is what eternal benevolence of hosts says. Administer true justice. Why do you keep ignoring the indigenous people of these lands? How come you refuse to give us justice? You are to be showing loving devotion and compassion to one another. How come you are refusing to do this? How come you are so complacent with selfishness and greed, feasting upon dead bodies of innocent animals that have been suffering in misery? Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. How come you are doing all of this? You're oppressing the poor. You're oppressing the widow. You're oppressing the fatherless. You're even oppressing the other foreigners that's upon these lands, you Indo-Europeans that think that you are Americans. You are a foreigner yourself, but yeah, you want to oppress other foreigners. Simply because they don't look like you. Simply because they don't talk like you. Do not plot evil in your hearts against one another. Do you not think that it's an evil thing to wish me homeless? Because I won't pine after money for a living? Seek good, not evil. Why you people only seeking that which is evil, and you hiding yourselves away from that which is good? What, you think these messages are going to get easier? See, I don't care how many of you keep ignoring me. I'm going to keep speaking this living word by way of the Spirit. You want to seek what's good, not evil, so that you may live. See, you're only able to live now, here in a temporary, during the times of the Gentiles. Well, their time is up. We've been telling you that their time is up because the living witnesses have been risen by way of the Spirit. Even though it doesn't look like it in the physical. But there's many things that's happening upon the earth, and you're being oblivious to it. You're blaming those who set themselves in authority. But you are in one accord with them people. You think you're fighting against them, but you made a covenant with them. As long as you are in opposition to the indigenous people of these lands, and primarily the covenant people, the obedient covenant people, as long as you are in opposition with us, you have a confederacy. You have a covenant with those whom you think that you are against. You're not against them. Nah, you're in one accord with them. Okay? The only way that you can be against them, for real, is to stand with us. Okay, well, that's the only way that you're going to have protection from them. Okay, otherwise, you can be against them all the hell you want. And you can fight them in your own way. Okay, with your man-made mortal weapons, and however the hell you think you're going to fight against those who establish themselves in authority over all humanity and all creation. Go ahead with your bad self. Okay, you fighting them without the help of the true and living God. Okay? But if you want the help of the true and living God, then you need the people of the true and living God. All right? And eternal benevolence, the power of hosts, will be with you, as you have claimed. See, many of you doing a whole lot of claiming. You doing a whole lot of vain lip service. But you ain't seeking good. You're seeking after the evil. You're seeking after all the ways of this world. Yet you want to vainly claim that you love and serve the true and living God. Okay? But you are not going to live that way. All right? There's a punishment coming on those who take his name in vain. Okay? So it's only those of you who are actually seeking what's good, all right, that will live. All right? It's only those who are seeking what's good who will come across us and who will actually begin to love us. Okay? Then you will have our God with you as you have claimed. Okay? You are to hate evil and love good. Okay? In these days, good is being called evil and evil is being called good. Okay? You need to understand that. I'm being looked at as evil because I'm being looked at as being a burden upon people, causing people to have to take care of me. No, sir, no, ma'am. You need to look to those who established this wicked ass system. I am not the problem. Okay? I'm indigenous to this land. Okay? So quit trying to use me as a scapegoat to hate eternal benevolence. Okay? You are to hate evil, not that which is good. It's a good thing that I'm not participating in selfish ambition to sustain my mortal flesh upon the earth. It's a good thing that I'm using my free agency to freely give you all of this clarity and understanding by way of the Spirit. It's a good thing that I'm spending all my time, energy, and effort helping you people, whether you want it or not. We are here to establish justice in the gate. All right? Perhaps eternal benevolence, the God of hosts, will be gracious to the remnant of Joseph. That's us. Okay? And it's not a perhaps, because he will. All right? He will be gracious unto us. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. What the hell you think is going to happen to those who are puffed up in their pride and their arrogance and they're selfish and greedy? In their heart condition and in their mentality, you think that they're going to be shown mercy? Now, there be some people that will run to that scripture, I will show mercy unto those whom I choose to show mercy. Yeah. And those whom he gonna choose to show mercy is those who actually show mercy. Because you reap what you sow. The Most High is not mocked. For whatever a man soweth, that is what he is going to reap. Those who sow for the carnal pleasures of the flesh will reap death. But those who sow for the Spirit will reap eternal life. It's all throughout them scriptures. You can psych yourself out to believe whatever the hell you want. But you ain't going to change the eternal law of divine love, life, and all things good. You're not going to make the ever-presence of benevolence into some malevolent farce. No, sir, no, ma'am. Okay? It's not malevolent to deliver you wicked people who refuse to show mercy unto his tender-hearted vessels of mercy. That's not malevolent. That's benevolent. Because you were given a choice, and you've been given ample time. You still have time. My God is long-suffering your cold hearts, your stingy, hateful hearts. His servants is long-suffering all of these things. I ain't got no hatred for you. I ain't got no animosity towards you. I ain't being hateful because I'm telling you that the true and living God is not going to show any kind of mercy and or compassion to deliver any of you wicked people who choose to deny him. Okay? You're choosing to deny him. You're choosing to not obey him. You're choosing to obey this wicked ass system. Therefore, it is benevolent to allow you to reap the consequences of your choice. You chose it with your free agency. So it ain't eternal benevolence that's evil. No, it's you that chose evil. Okay? You are to defend the cause of the weak. I got no might in my hands. Living in a financial ass world ran by the colonizers who is requiring them demands money from me. They're requiring finances from me. But their whole system was established in wickedness. The wickedness in which they did to my ancestors in these lands. And the wickedness that they're continuing to do against me as they hold on to all the resources of this land that automatically belong to me. Because I am an heir of this land. But I got no physical might in my hands to receive the resources of this earth without what is being required by those who set themselves up in authority over me. You are not defending the cause of the weak concerning me. You are upholding it over me, trying to force me to be complacent with it, to be complacent with being forced to pay these people money. And you want me to spend my time, energy, and effort earning it in order to do it. You are to uphold the rights of the afflicted and the oppressed. But you are not doing that. Instead, you're upholding this wicked ass system over those who have been afflicted and oppressed. You are instructed to rescue the weak and the needy. You are instructed to help save us, deliver us from the hands of the wicked. The wicked is requiring this money. If you were righteous, you would use your prosperity for righteousness' sake in order to rescue the weak and the needy, in order to spare us from the hand of the wicked that's trying to cast us out onto the street if we don't pay them. Little children, let us not love in word and or in speech, but in action and in truth. Love must be sincere. You are to detest what is evil, and you are supposed to cling and cleave unto what is good. Finally, all of you, be like-minded in benevolence, divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy. Be sympathetic. Love as brothers. Be tender-hearted and humble. This is how we are to be upon the earth. This is how I live my life. All right? If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. I was always a free spirit. But growing up, when I was under my mother's control and all of these things, she always tried to suppress my spirit, okay? Forced me to get a job at 19 or so. All right, I was still living under her roof and she was forcing this upon me, all right? And so, literally shackled and chained my spirit, having to be at a job at a certain time. That's shackling and chaining my spirit, okay? All for the reward of money, okay? But now I know that, you know, living in the spirit also will cause us to walk in the spirit. We are to walk in the spirit, and in order to do that, I have to carry my cross because I'm living in a wicked ass world that's being controlled by the wicked right now. Okay, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked for a period of time, not for eternity. Okay. And so while the earth is in the reigns of the wicked, uh, you know, when I'm walking in the spirit, I'm suffering in the flesh. Okay, it's just that's an automatic. There's hardly no one living in the spirit upon the earth, and those who are is rare for them to also be walking in the spirit. Okay, it's very very few of us upon the earth, and we are known as the tender-hearted vessels of mercy. We are the remnant within the remnant. Okay, we are the last ones that you would want to withhold from. We're the last ones that you want to increase suffering upon. We're the last ones that you want to increase misery upon. He answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone." That right there is telling you it's not all about the carnal flesh. Okay? It's not all about sustaining your flesh. Okay? But by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the true and living God. That is your conscience, okay? And those of us who have accepted the reproof via the Spirit of truth, we have received the Spirit of truth. We have received the Holy Spirit. Therefore, we speak by way of the Spirit. Therefore, we are speaking your conscience. And because we are speaking your conscience, that's every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the true and living God. Okay? Because He is the maker of infinite consciousness. Okay? And the word that we're speaking to you, you already know. Because it's embedded within your conscience. All right? You just ignore it. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of the true and living God. Okay, because yeah, there are some people that's living in the spirit, all right, but they living in malevolent spirit with the malevolent devils and whatnot. Okay, and they walking with their demons. All right. But you are to try the spirits, whether they are of the true and living God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. Okay? That's all your pulpit pimping pastors. Now, I came across a video on YouTube last night, sponsored by YouTube, okay? Produced by YouTube. Hebrew Israelites debunked. Okay, now for a while, for a good little bit into it, this particular pastor was telling the truth. Okay, he had a lot of truth that he was speaking. All right, and I was interested. I kept listening, but then he began to mix in the lie. Okay, he began to mix in the blood covenant. Okay, it is not a blood covenant. All right, he said, "Thou shalt not, thou shalt not kill." All right, thou shalt not be spilling blood in the land. This is supposed to be a bloodless land. So clearly, it was not a blood covenant that eternal benevolence made with us in these lands. Okay. Nevertheless, that's the route he took, you know. Talking about slaughtering an animal and spilling its blood and claiming that its blood covered our sins and all of these things, and how we now have the Messiah who came to the earth and shed his blood for our sins, like going down that same route. All right, that's the pathway of devils. Okay, that's the dark pathway. All right, and all my brethren that are under this blood covenant, they are following the dark path. Okay, they're not following the path of righteousness. They are not following the path of light. They're not following the path of the spirit of truth. Okay, they're following the false prophets that have gone out into the world. All right. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. Okay? um he has shown thee, O man, what is good. And what does eternal benevolence require of us but to do justly, all right, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with eternal benevolence. Okay, this is not hard, people. It's only hard and difficult in this world. And the longer that it takes for people to, unharden their heart condition and unsear their conscience and continue to freaking follow after the ways of the heathen, the harder it is gonna be. Okay? At some time, you're gonna have to make the choice to turn away from evil. Okay? And if you just completely refuse to do that, then you are going to be the portion of stubble. Okay? Because eventually there are going to be some that are seeking the truth, that will take heed to this truth. Okay? We are to overcome our flesh. All right? We are to crucify our flesh. All right? Our flesh is not supposed to be ruling us. All right? Our flesh is not to be in control of us. Okay? If you are ruled by your carnal flesh, then you are not being ruled by eternal benevolence. You are being ruled by the adversary, which is your Satan. Okay? And all while you're being ruled by your flesh, you are corrupting your spirit. You're searing your conscience. All right? So you must overcome your flesh. Okay? You must walk in the spirit. All right? Now, let me go ahead and end this, and I'm going to pick it back up, all right? Because I really don't like really long videos, all right? I'm going to be going over, we're going to be getting into the part about how you begin to overturn your transgressions, okay? This is a must, people, because the Messiah did not come to the earth to be a human sacrifice, to cover your sins with his blood. Okay? No, sir, no, ma'am. You have to make the conscious choice to turn away from your sin and atone for your sin. And when we come back, I'm going to show you via scripture how you do this. Okay? Shalom.